Hello, I'm Trish Refo, President of the American Bar Association, a proud sponsor of this important AALS conference on rebuilding democracy and the rule of law. This has been an extraordinary year for all of us. The rule of law has been at the heart of what we all have been doing as lawyers and what we need to keep doing. The rule of law has no meaning if our fellow citizens have no access to civil justice because they cannot afford a lawyer. Among the ABA's highest priorities is to ensure robust and effective legal aid and pro bono programs to serve the staggering legal needs of vulnerable populations, including the needs that have been exacerbated by the pandemic and the shutdowns. The rule of law has no meaning unless all citizens who are eligible to vote can do so freely and securely in a manner that maximizes their participation to the fullest extent. The rule of law has no meaning if lawyers don't have the support they need. The ABA's Practice Forward initiative has surveyed thousands of lawyers across the country to understand the impact of the pandemic on our profession. More than half of all lawyers are working from home 100% of the time. Though many feel just as productive, they often are overwhelmed. The transition to remote work has had a disproportionate impact on those who need to juggle work and home responsibilities, especially women lawyers with children and lawyers of color. The survey results also confirmed the continued urgency of our work toward real racial equity in our country and in the legal profession, and we must never let up. This past year has exposed more than ever the poisonous racism in America that stifles opportunity and injects fear and violence toward communities of color. As stewards of our justice system, we as a profession need to start at home. All lawyers need to do our part to ensure that our own profession is diverse and inclusive. We need to do that through the organized bar, law schools, and other institutions that are working to address systemic bias and racism, both explicit and implicit, that still hold back lawyers of color in our profession. At the same time, we need to continue to improve the institutions of our justice system. We must forge new paths to ensure that our laws and policies do not explicitly or implicitly harm or exclude any person on account of race, ethnicity, gender or gender identity, sexual orientation, so-called disability, or other factors that create injustice. The rule of law demands that every person be treated with equity. The American Bar Association recently launched the Legal Education Police Practices Consortium, currently with more than 50 ABA accredited US law schools, which is addressing racial justice issues in policing and public safety. At this moment of pandemic, this era of reckoning for our country around racial equity, as our nation continues to heal from a divisive national election and an attack on our nation's Capitol building, we as lawyers have a mission before us. We cannot be content with just restoring our system of justice to what it was before the pandemic. Instead, we must learn from all of the tumultuous upheaval during this terribly difficult time and build a justice system that is more just, that provides more access to more people in better ways, and that moves us ever closer to the promise of equal justice under law. This conference will go a long way toward developing understanding and solutions to the many challenges we face, challenges that the next generation of lawyers I know will rise to. The ABA is proud to contribute to this work, and we thank the AALS for bringing us together.